Hey, welcome to Tours with Mark. As you probably know, if you're on this channel, I do a lot of mountain biking, skateboarding, and I live the van life, sort of. Well, I really live the van life, and that's what I want to talk to you about, is my progress and why it's slow, what decisions I make, why I make them, how much money I'm blowing. So stay tuned for the rest of this. I'm going to do this long form, probably 20-30 minutes worth. And it's going to be raw, uncut. There will be no cuts. You will see no cut in this video. Whatever comes out of my mouth is what I'm going to publish to the YouTube world. Basically, what you see here now is me just chilling in my bed. I'm in a city called Travelers Rest in South Carolina, and I'm going to make this my base for the night. I'm not staying exactly here. I'll probably be a couple blocks away, so I'll move in just a few minutes. So what I wanted to talk to you about was why my progress is slow. For one, my progress is slow because I make bad decisions. That's really the gist of it. It's a nice day and I decide I could do all this work that I want to do, but I'm in the city, I want to be socializing, I want to go to the brewery, I want to meet people, I want to socialize, I want to play with my dog, etc. So I decide, why don't I play disc golf? Why don't I go skateboard? Why don't I jog or go to the gym? And I do all those things. And then I get wore out. And then I say, well, wait a second, I want to better myself. So I'll read some of my book. I'll put in some book time, maybe an hour, drink a few beers, read a couple of chapters of a book. By the time I'm ready to work on the van, I'm like, well, excuses are galore. I've got to take everything out. All my tools are under my bed in storage all over the place. I need this part, that part. And then I just put it off. And then I put it off. And then the days go by, but they're so nice. Like, it's great weather. It's fantastic weather. And I'm like, well, I could work on the van and be more comfortable, less stressed, but I choose not to. So it's very small progress. But I will say what I've learned throughout this process was patience, and patience is a key thing that I'm slowly learning because of this van life. I'm learning that it takes time to do things. It takes time to cook. It takes time to clean, much more than if you had your own full-size kitchen and all the stuff you needed. It takes time. But guess what? You know what? Use that time and just do it. And that's what I'm learning how to do. Prior to that, it's like, oh, I want the super convenience. I want like automatic sink that if I put my hands under it, it just goes and it's good pressure and I have 50 gallons of water all hot instantaneously. I don't have that. I don't have that. So you've got to convince yourself that, slow it down, take it down a notch. Okay, I've got a trickle. Okay, I can do some dishes at the co-working place. I can go to a friend's house. I can do it outside. I can just take a paper towel and some vinegar and water, spray it, scrape it out, pretty good for the next day. You're gonna cook it anyways. It's gonna be heated and kill the bacteria, right? Learn how to do that. And that's what I'm doing. I can't start off with luxury. I do have it in my mind though. At every point, every day, I tell myself, this will be luxury one day. It's going to take time. It's not that 3-month window or 4-month window that a lot of people can do, which is awesome, good for them. I can't do it. If I had my own base, my own place with all my own tools already bought, maybe I could do it, and help from friends. But I don't have that. So I'm going to be okay with taking a 1.5 years to build this out the way I want to. And I will say, I'm pretty glad I'm doing it this way for a few reasons. One, you get to make changes quite easily because everything I have is kind of semi-permanent. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, that ain't gonna work, that ain't gonna work, or this is pretty good, but I need this better. So, you know, it's okay to be patient. Anyways, the main point of this is it's my own fault. I chose to go mountain biking in DuPont, the DuPont forest. I chose to go to Ridgeline. I chose to go to the gym for 1.5 hours instead of working on my van for 1.5 hours. I chose to do nothing. I chose to go to the bar. I chose to go to the brewery. I chose to read that book. I chose to wander around at night downtown Greenville for 2 hours walking my dog to train him how to not pull on a leash. I chose that instead of working on my van. So I want to say, if you are following this channel and you think, man, he's got no progress, I will say there is some progress. Even organization is progress. I learned how to camp a little bit better out in the Pisgah National Forest. I learned how to do dishes better. I put a little shower together. That worked. I got a little heat out of it. I learned how to use the river to collect water to take a shower. I've learned how to put a monitor working with AC. Even though I don't want to use my inverter, it makes my work life so much easier. I learned that my Starlink sucks when it's cloudy. Like, it was terrible the other day. Couldn't get anything to work. I didn't know if it was the clouds or the trees, but I'm pretty sure it was the clouds because I've been out there during cloudy season or cloudy weeks, and it works fine. It's the trees that usually obstruct it, but for some reason the last couple of days it's been crappy. I've learned that you will have wires pop out if you don't crimp them right. I've learned that rain will come through your side windows if you don't shut them when it's raining. Oh, that's another thing. If it is raining, it goes the opposite way. Like, you think, well, now I'm stuck in the van, I might as well work. Not really. Now I can't work because you typically need to be in and out of your van quite a bit. So I don't want to get wet and muddy and dirty. So then you end up going somewhere like a restaurant, a bar, hanging out, whatever you do. Go to the gym, go rock climbing. It's like, oh, I can't work on the van because it's raining. But when it's nice out, I can't work on the van because it's too damn nice out to be in the van. I want to go somewhere. It's kind of crazy. But I guess the main point is, the only excuse I have, or the only person I have to blame on any of this, is me. So it's all my fault. And I must say, the purpose though, for me, is to just be stress-free and happy. I don't care about material possessions. I don't care about any of that. The goal is, how do I be less stressful today? And then how do I be happy? Now, how do I get to be happy and how do I become less stressful? We can go on and on about that. And that's the thing. People have a lot of different reasons to be stress-free or to be happy, or a lot of ways to get there. They want to buy a big house, but then they have a big mortgage and they can't travel overseas. So where's that balance? Where do you really want to be? How do you become comfortable? And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm learning what my comforts are. I'm learning what my true, like, hey, what do I really love to do? What really matters to me? And by putting off the van, saying, even this van is pretty comfortable so that I can go mountain biking and I can go play with my damn Frisbee, that's pretty nice to know, you know? Having a desk, having space to work has made my life less stressful. So I'm extremely happy that I have a full-on monitor, a keyboard, and internet so I can do real work. And I got a bigger laptop from my work. My work sent me a larger laptop, which you hate lugging that thing around, but it forces me to really like focus on that screen. Even though now I'm using a little bit bigger monitor. I've got a 27-inch monitor that they sent me. So I closed the lid on the laptop. Typically, I don't really use dual screen anymore. I used to have a 49-inch ultra-wide, ultra-curved LG monitor. That was amazing, right? And I don't even game. Too big for the van. But going from a tiny little like 13-inch screen to my 15 or 16-inch laptop screen now is awesome. It's a game changer. I'm happy about it. Also, trying to record this stuff instead of just getting the job done is always a pain. Slowly but surely it's becoming easier and better, for sure. Like right now, this GoPro that I'm working with, this DJI mic, which I hope is still on. Yep, it should be. Gotta check that stuff. Usually they crash 1 or 2 times, then I see file repair. I'm like, wait, did I record that or not? And it's a pain. It's a pain. You might record, 20-30 minutes worth that you think is amazing, and then you find out, oh shoot, I actually didn't hit record, I hit stop recording, right? So there's that. A good thing with this DJI mic though is, when I'm looking at the GoPro right now, there's a receiver connected to it, and it has a little LED that literally shows me that my microphone is working at all times. So that's fantastic. I've definitely recorded videos where, yes, even that's working, but I forgot to plug it into the GoPro. There is redundancy. I could have recorded directly on this thing right here, but the problem with that is the The frequency that it records at is slightly, ever slightly different than the GoPro video footage. And so synchronization is a pain in the butt. You can do it, but it's not like as easy as like, hey, hit sync, because they're two different frequencies. They might sync for the first like 30, 40 seconds, then it slowly fades away and becomes unsynchronized, a pain in the butt. But there are ways to fix that, but it's like, okay, now I gotta break up my laptop. I need power for that. Oh, I need internet. I gotta Google a bunch of stuff. It's painful. So when things work right, it's fantastic. When things don't work right, just break out the Kindle and just start reading and realize that technology doesn't always work for you, and just be patient with it. It's okay. If you lose something, you lose something. I throw stuff on there. I don't care about my YouTube metrics. I don't know for a fact, but I know that when I throw a mountain bike ride of me just riding from point A to B for 1 hour, my van life people that are watching this, which is very few and far between, probably are like, what a waste. What is he doing? My problem is I'm not niched down, I guess, enough, but I keep it to tour with Mark, whatever I'm doing. I don't care if it's van life or not. I'm not considering myself a true van lifer, even though I lived in this van for over 6 months now, from a tin can to this. I'm not a van lifer. I'm an adventure seeker, and the van helps me do that. And that's what I wanted to kind of point out was all that stuff. But anyways, the main part of this video, the main point of this video, I'm not really articulating my sentences and words correctly, but the main point is, it's all my fault. So don't feel bad for me. Don't worry about it. I choose these things. I'm trying to live life. That work-life balance business that people talk about. Oh, work-life balance. You know, I'm only working 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's not, if you had a scale and you work 5 days a week and you only have 2 days off, you know, this is the work side. I mean, that it weighs heavily, so it's going to go down, or whichever way you want to look at it. You're working this much on a bar chart and you have this many days off. The goal for me is to tilt those scales. I want this many days off and this amount of time to work. And doing that without being, you know, very much an entrepreneur at all. Doing that just through my regular corporate job is not easy. But the remote work helps. The being able to jump on a skateboard at lunchtime, not worry about showering right away because you're dirty, but who you're gonna see? I'm in my van. But you run into other problems. It's hot. It's freaking hot in this van, or it's too cold, or you run out of power. You run into all kinds of problems, which makes that work-life balance kind of more work, because now you gotta spend more time elsewhere instead of out in the boonies or whatever you want to call it. But that's the idea, is at my age, middle, I guess you can call me middle management as well. The goal is to just balance that out. Have a good time. You only live once. If I'm 40 years old now, 42 maybe, if that's my age and I've got another 20 years of like physical like ability to really do stuff, 20 years goes by quick. That's it. That's the end of it. When I'm 62 and I can't climb a rock, or I can't skateboard, or I can't mountain bike, I don't want to say I wish I did that. It's going to be a bummer losing out on that. But I don't want to ever say I waited till I was 60 or 70 to retire to do anything. And I hope that most people, most of my audience, can reflect on that and say, you know, all you 22-year-olds watching this, which probably there's not many, just realize that at 42, this is what I'm thinking in my head. My head says, shit, what have I done? How can I do more? And is it really worth it? Don't get me wrong. You want to be a rising star. You want to make money. You want to be successful. But do that. But remember that work-life balance, you know. Balance is work 3 days, have 4 days off. Work 4 days, have 3 days off. That's probably more balanced than 5 days and 2 days off. Even 4 days, 3 days off all the time. That's still not balanced. Balance that out, or if you can tip the scale, do even better and tip that scale. That's the goal. Right now, I'm thinking about, because it's not finished, I'm glad I didn't, I'm thinking about a skylight. I keep looking those up. They're either super expensive for ones that open up all the way, and I want to get out. I want a skylight that opens and I can get out onto my top, because this bed is super high. Just hop right up there. That's what I want. I'm going to make that happen. It's hot. I don't know if I want cross breeze from windows, Maybe I need to figure something out like that, but I also like the fact that one side of my van is relatively stealthy versus the other side with the windows. I don't know. I think I need to poke one more hole for a window. Maybe the skylight and a couple of fans will help. Maybe I need to start cracking my driver's side and my passenger side windows more. Because right now I have a small window for my bed over here. I know you can't see it. I have to be honest, it's a small window on my door because it's a big window, but it only opens a small amount, same amount as my window here. So honestly, it's not that much cross breeze. So I think I need one more. I do have one max air fan. A lot of people put 2 in a ProMaster. I'm still thinking 1 is gonna be fine if I put a skylight that opens up. But again, I want it to open. If I'm gonna have a skylight, I wanna get out. But we'll figure it out. Doesn't matter. Anyways, that's my long-winded rant. This is unedited, raw. I'm not in a good, public speaking mode. I didn't go to my Toastmasters class today. Drinking a beer, just settling in for the night, and I will move this vehicle probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 blocks away, because where I'm at now is very public, and I don't like to park in very public areas because I shine like a, shining star, I suppose. And so 1 block away, 2 blocks away, and then there's an apartment complex across the street. I might check that out. But mostly I park in places I definitely know already is good. But Traveler's Rest, check it out. Anyways, over and out, that's it. Speaking of technology, I can't use my quick click software very much because it always airs out, luckily. I said this was gonna be 20 minutes, we're at 16:42. Close enough, I'd say. Maybe I'll throw in, throw in nothing, I'm done. Adios, amigos.